We started 2023 not even sure if our company would make it past Q1.
LaabTakes, take one, soft sticks mark.
Honestly, this was one of the darkest and most desperate times of my life. We had clients who wouldn't pay us. Because of that, we had to borrow money, take out personal loans in order to keep our business open. We had literally one project lined up for the entire year. We were a production company, but we actually only had 2 cameras and a couple of lenses. Our team at this time were 6 different individuals, and really, we had a payroll that we couldn't afford. On socials, it really wasn't much better. FilmLaab had 0 subscribers on YouTube, a couple thousand followers on Instagram. My personal account did have 60,000 followers, but the engagement was basically non-existent. I hadn't connected with my community or shared work for quite a while. For years, I'd had this dream of building a production company and doing something great. I wanted to tell stories. And so I had set this outrageous goal of hitting $1 million in revenue. And at the time, I didn't think that it was at all possible. The difficult part of this whole thing was no one really knew who we were or what we did. How could we expect to win projects if nobody was aware of us? We hadn't been posting on our socials, we hadn't really been engaging the community, hadn't been going out to lunches or networking or really doing any of the basic marketing things. So with this last act of desperation, we had a very, very short runway of cash. We came up with a plan. Step 1, create a YouTube channel. Step 2, we need to actually start capturing what's going on and tell our story on YouTube. And we did that through our series LaabTakes, which is what you're watching right now. Step 3, post consistently on FilmLaab and my own personal Instagram. Step 4, launch our show reel, which is basically an assortment of all of our best and greatest work, our best clips from the year before and years past, all packed into one 2.5-minute video to showcase our work and to help people understand what we're capable of. And then finally, step 5, start our own podcast. Once we started telling our story, once we started investing in ourselves, helping people be able to connect with us, not only on our wins, but also on our failures and our losses, opportunities started flooding in. We got connected with the Utah Jazz, Sarah Hyland's brand that was collaborating with Sephora. We worked with Air Jordan, Zeph, Dime, and so many others. The highs really did not come without a lot of lows though. As you probably saw in past episodes of LaabTakes, there were times where we lost 50 gigs of footage that got corrupted, and we had to sit and call the client and tell them the bad news. We started diving into everything last night, and we found out that there was a bit of a problem. The studio shots of the models, like those glamour beauty shots we got, those files are all corrupted.
Oh my God.
We are sick to our stomachs. We had a defender break down on us while shooting.
The last thing I want to do is borrow a super cool car for a shoot that's not mine and then have it break.
I think it's either clogged intake, failing fuel system, weak throttle body, or we're just bad luck.
I think the bad luck for 200.
Yeah.
We had talent get sick.
You good?
Unfortunately, got very, very sick very first run of the day.
She basically fainted.
Yeah, basically fainted on the side of the mountain, and we found a way to get her down. She's talking to ski patrol. Dan and Mitch are taking care of her, rubbing her feet, warming up her hands, just consoling her, trying to figure out, what could possibly be going on. We just didn't have enough time to get all the shots we needed.
We had to drop an agency who we had a relationship with. We racked up massive amounts of credit card debt in order to get gear to be able to pull off the jobs we were doing. Had to let people that we truly cared about go because we just weren't in the financial position to be able to keep them on. That was personally very hard for me. Our internet stopped working. All right, so basically our internet in this room doesn't reach to our podcast studio. We are trying to set up a Google Mesh system. We're trying to get one of our Google Mesh systems out, hanging out there, and then another one in the podcast studio and hope that we get internet there.
Crossing our fingers.
We're getting 7 megabytes a second.
Dang, that's not good.
So what do we gain out of all this? Out of all that
What have
you
we
guys
gained?
just did?
We've gained 4 megabytes a second.
Worth it?
For download. Temporarily, it's worth it. We crashed a few drones.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Damn it, did I hit the car? No way, what are the odds?
There's nothing to hit out here.
And I found a way to crash it. Save his place. No!
It's really tragic, bro.
The little boy. R.I.P.
A snowball hit our red cinema rig. Hit him. No, he didn't.
Dude, we might be This is getting in everywhere. Can we take it off?
What are the odds? And even had a tire pop while off-roading.
They popped a tire. We popped a tire. Well, I popped a tire. We came around that corner a little too fast. Our saviors are here. An extra tire. Yeah, work it, Brandon.
This is the most manual labor I've done in like weeks.
So like I said, this journey and this experience was not smooth. The thing that made the difference for us was the people on our team and the clients that we've built relationships with. And being able to bring Mike on as a partner and have him move down from Idaho to be closer to us and be in the office every day, unreal. Now, here's the team.
The best part of this year was busting through a wall, 100%. Just joking, that actually really hurt. Why are you filming me? I can't be double filmed. I can't be double filmed. Best part of this year was...
Oh my God.
No pressure, dude.
Wait, oh, there's nothing. Okay, dang it.
Best part, moving to Utah, which honestly was also probably one of the hardest parts for me and my family. But loved joining the team in person, being able to work together, grow this thing together with Mitch. And the hardest part, back in April, finances were pretty low. FilmLaab was in a harder spot. Had to let some people go. By far the hardest thing we've had to do as a company this year. And then I'm just super stoked for 2024. We've got some awesome stuff in the pipeline, some really cool things coming out, and it's gonna be the best year FilmLaab's ever had.
Oh, I would say the best part of the year was going to North Carolina to record a podcast with Mr. Beast, which was sick. Also, the studio. Well, it's gonna be a studio soon, a podcast studio. So if you're into podcasts, if you wanna start a podcast, hit us up. Worst part of the year, I would say trying to find somebody to help out with editing that could keep up the quality and deliver in a timely manner. But luckily, we got Abby, and she's awesome.
The best part of the year, getting hired at FilmLaab. This has been literally the best job I've ever had. I love everyone here, and it's really just helped me grow as a creative. The worst part of the year has just been adjusting to working a 9 to 5 in an office. I'm used to doing freelance work, so there's a lot more flexibility. But the good part about FilmLaab is that there's a little more structure, and so it's really allowed me to feel collaborative and just grow my skill set. And then the worst part of the year is probably working with Dallin. I'm just kidding.
Boom. What was that? Best part of the year, working with some of my best friends, Danny, Abby. Worst part of the year, probably throwing a snowball at the Red at the production for the Jazz. Yeah. Oh man. There's so much. Best, hands down, was when me and Mitch went to Boston to shoot the Jordan shoot. We got on the court and watched actual NBA players play, like, right up close. One of them literally fell on top of me. It was crazy. Worst, there's so many to choose from. Close, when Dallin hit the Red with the snowball, although the camera was fine, so that can't really be worst. I think actual worst was when we lost like 50 gigs of footage for Dime because the Red shut off and we didn't realize that that corrupts the card. So we had to do an entire reshoot of footage that was so beautiful. That's the worst for sure.
Best part of the year, I'd probably have to say when we all went and shot the Jazz. We went after hours, so not a ton of people were there. We got to go out on the court, kind of mess around, and shot a drummer, and that was actually really cool. So I really enjoyed that. The worst part of this year is when we have like Mitch, Ty, Parker, Grayson, all those guys out on shoots, but it kind of sucks editing alone. I really can pick a lot off of them and bounce a lot of ideas, and it kind of just sucks when I'm here alone and don't have anyone to share anything with, so yeah.
Hey Danny, best and worst part of this year?
Oh, Hey, I was just storyboarding. Best part about this year, working with FilmLaab. One thing I love is that everyone is so genuine here, whether it's on camera, off camera, everything is real. Worst part, honestly, as much as I joke around, I don't think there was a worst part. I love working with everyone. I know a lot of times you can go to other jobs, stuff like that, and you see it looks fun, but then you get there and it's not fun, but made it the best year.
Best part of the year, number one, wrecking Austin in Call of Duty.
Okay.
This is where you pull ahead, Taylor. This is where you pull ahead.
No, but for real, I produced my very first shoot in New York City and it all came down to the wire, but it all turned out great. So that was probably, I love New York City, so that was probably my favorite. Worst part of the year was I was so sick leading up to that shoot that I could barely even talk on the phone, but it all came together.
Best part of the year was definitely going to California with Mitch and the whole team. It was fun to just be at the beach. We got massages. We filmed pickleball. It was a good time. And then probably worst part of the year, just being inconsistent with YouTube. I feel like our LaabTakes episodes, we want to do every 2 weeks, and sometimes it was 3 weeks. Next year, our plan is hopefully to be more consistent, to batch more content, better titles, better thumbnails, so keep us accountable.
The best part of the year was definitely going to the Bahamas with Mitch. We got to film amazing stuff on this yacht. The company was great, and the food was even better. The worst part, it was probably me moving to Texas for a little bit. It was fun, and I learned a lot, but I just missed production so much. I missed my brothers, missed my friends. So came back to Utah as quick as I could and been back at it ever since.
The best part of this year was taking fun trips, like going to New York, working with a cool brand like Rowan out there. Another fun highlight part of this year was working with a brand like Collar, who just gave us a ton of creative freedom to create something from start to finish and execute it in the way that we wanted to do. And just being able to collaborate with the team on that and help that come to life was really, really fun and exciting for me. The most difficult part about this year, though, was seeing my man Mike bust a knee through the wall. Man, I mean, I probably watched that video 600 to 300 times. Still can't get through it without crying. The other hard thing, I think, was just trying to figure out time management. It was the blessing of this year, which was how busy we were and how many different brands and people we got to work with. And it was a little bit of the curse, too, was just trying to figure out how to make time for the things that I loved outside of work within filmmaking. But then I'm also just trying to find balance in my life as well. But I'm excited for this next year we have our processes dialed in a lot more and have a little bit of a clear way on how we're going to execute on things. And so I'm really pumped.
So you've heard all the hard stuff. Now I want to brag a little bit and tell you guys the incredible results that we have seen by documenting our journey and telling our story. By the end of 2023, we now have clients that pay us large, consistent budgets. We have multiple projects lined up for next year. We acquired multiple new cameras, including two C70s, a Canon R3, a Canon R5, and for our podcast studio, we went with Sony. We got two FX30s, an FX3, we have two Reds, as well as other gear like new cinema lenses, basically 1,000 new lights from Nanlite, and now we're expanding our space to now include a large editing bay, two podcast studios, one of which I'm recording in right now, as well as a large studio with a cyc wall. Our team has now also grown to 12 different individuals. On social media, FilmLaab gained 650 new subscribers. On YouTube, over 10,000 new followers on Instagram, and my personal account at its peak reached 120,000 followers. And I should say it's gone down a little bit since then because I haven't been very faithful on posting and sharing on there. But the craziest thing out of everything else is the fact that early last year, I set a goal that I wanted to hit $1 million in revenue. And everyone around me said, there's no way with the current state of your company that will be able to happen. At the end of the year, we have reached $1 million in revenue. Wild. In 2024, we have some really big goals. A few of them are, we want to host our first film festival. And I think we can do 2 this year, which I'm really excited about. On top of that, with revenue, we want to hit $1.5 million. And that is going to be a stretch for our current team, but I know they are extremely capable and we're going to be able to pull it off. On top of that, I think we want to try our hand at some mini doc stuff, maybe some longer form documentary stuff, but really probably our biggest goal and the thing that I'm most excited about is continuing to grow this community. Our company would not be here if it wasn't for individuals like you who are watching now, who have cheered us on, who have supported our work, shared it, and also just been there as part of our community, somebody that we can talk talk to, get ideas from, and who's just been in our corner through thick and thin. It has meant the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, obviously, I gotta plug our company. If you need visuals, whether that's video, podcast-related content, or even some photo, or you just overall wanna hang out with us, hit the links below the like button and you can work with us. Thank you so much for watching. If you wanna rewatch any of our episodes from this year, check out this playlist here, or you can watch our most recent episode right here. Okay, peace.
Feel like John Morant, need a triple double. Told him check the stats, yeah.